Hello and welcome to the week ahead. I am joined by Ranko Berich to discuss the unstable sterling, Japanese dollar and ruble, which you need to be watching this week. Welcome, Ranko. What do you expect to see from the UK data, including Consumer Price Index, that is released on Tuesday?
Well, I think there's going to be a lot more attention on the Consumer Price Index this week because sterling has been taking a beating in recent trading sessions, and that's simply because of the Bank of England's inflation report, which they released last week, and the Governor, Mark Carney, explicitly actually said that he expected to see inflation decreasing potentially to 1% or below over the coming months. So CPI is out tomorrow. And if what I find actually really interesting about tomorrow's release is that because we have seen such a pronounced reaction to the Bank of England's inflation report, actually if the Consumer Price Index comes in, slightly above expectation, we could actually see quite a pronounced rally in sterling. So yeah, that's out tomorrow, and then later in the week we have the votes for the Bank of England's Monetary Policy Committee on their last rate decision. And what I find interesting about that is whether or not there will still be two members that are voting for rate hikes, or if all of the votes are now unanimously to keep rates unchanged.
What are the big market movers you are looking out for next week?
Yeah, as I was saying, I think what markets are looking for over the next 2 weeks from Japan specifically will be whether or not Shinzo Abe will delay the second increase in sales taxes, because the economy has slowed down recently and the yen has suffered as a result. If that sales tax is delayed, we may see the economy supported, and potentially there is a little bit of room, at least for the yen, to stabilize slightly, because it is depreciating very rapidly at the moment, especially after the GDP data we saw this morning. Then the other things that we have next week are second readings of gross domestic product from the United States on Tuesday and the UK on Wednesday. So the US has been performing very strongly, and I think markets continue to expect strong performance from the US economy. So any disappointment there, potentially we could see the dollar maybe take a bit of a step back.
Are there any currency pairs our viewers should be watching?
So anything to do with the ruble. The biggest ones would be euro ruble and dollar ruble. The Central Bank of Russia has really taken the kid gloves off. They've announced that the currency is now freely floating so that they can intervene in an unpredictable manner. So that means that at any stage the ruble's weakness could be disrupted through central bank action. I mean, we're seeing regularly. Last week we had several days where we had more than 3% volatility on euro ruble in one day. So I mean, the ruble's basically in the Wild West at the moment. There's a lot of geopolitical tension, there's a bad macroeconomic situation, and there's potential for large movement either way with the central bank.
Thank you for joining us. Keep an eye on your economic week with us at Dukascopy. Goodbye.